5 years ago, a lot of people wouldn't have heard of this brand Takomo, but Tacomao have taken the golfing influencer world by storm, but they've changed. But what have they done and how will it affect you? Now, I've been using Takomo clubs for 4 or 5 years nearly now, and I've been using the CBs, the MBs, the 101Ts, all the different clubs that are on the range from Takomo, and we've had a lot of success, we've had a lot of great performance. But there's been one question that a lot of people have asked all the time with Takomo, and they've finally changed that. So the big question is, can you be fitted for these irons? And we know it's a direct-to-consumer brand. We know that's why the price is exceptionally good. It's half the price of those premium brands in TaylorMade, Titleist, Callaway, Ping, PXG, and many more. But for me, at that affordable price, we also get premium components, KBS shaft, Lampkin grips. But not only do we get the components, for me, we also get that performance, and performance is massive. But one thing they've always asked about, what people have always commented, can you get fitted for these? And guys, if you're new to this YouTube channel, then welcome to the channel. If you want to hit that subscribe button and join us on that journey to 50,000, that would be great. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, welcome back. So Takomo, one of the biggest brands now on the YouTube market. Again, Grant Horvath, the Brian Bros, and many other influencers using these clubs. And now, those two we've just mentioned, the Brian Bros and Grant Horvath, are part owners of Takomo. So again, they have put their trust in these clubs. These clubs have stayed the same price. A lot of people thought they might get more expensive, but the big question has always been around fitting. Can you get fitted for these clubs? And the answer is, in person, no. But we do have now an online fitting system, which I have thoroughly enjoyed, not only with Takomo, which we'll go through shortly, but I've had a couple of lab putters in the bag in recent weeks, and they were from online fittings. They were done on the website, into my specs, and they've performed exceptionally well with numbers. And after speaking to Lab recently, they say they have huge success on the online fitting area, which is what I believe Takomo will get. Because if you can fit them online, there's 14 different steps in this process, so it's not a quick process, it's not a couple of questions and they fit you for your clubs. So if you can get enough detail from online and fit those clubs, why wouldn't you use that? And the reason for this video is to see, would the fitting online suit the current clubs that I have had with Takomo, or will it recommend something different? Now, the first 3 questions are pretty standard. So the first question you're going to get asked is, what is your age? So again, that is something for me where they're probably looking at seeing, again, what kind of swing speed may you have, what kind of demographic are they using, who's buying their golf clubs. I feel like that potentially is more for Takomo maybe than for the fitting. The second question, pretty similar. We're looking at, what is your sex? Are you male or female? So that is a big thing that they're, again, potentially data collecting. And then after that, we then go into how many rounds of golf are you playing a year? And that for me is probably to see, again, are you an avid golfer? Do you play a lot of golf? Or are you an irregular golfer? Because that is all going to contribute to what clubs you get suggested. For example, if you're playing maybe once a month, they're probably not going to fit you into the MB or the CB that you see on screen. They're potentially going to fit you more towards their 101T, which is a player's distance iron that is not too strong or lofted, so you're going to get a lot of forgiveness, you're going to get a hollow body construction, and that might suit your game because you're not playing too often, so your strike might be a little bit more inconsistent. Now, as you know, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, I'm a big fan of club fitting. So we know that if you're going to spend the money and you've got a higher budget and you want to spend a lot of money on golf, then going and getting fitted is absolutely essential, because that's going to help you get the exact correct shaft, the correct grip, all things that you need to take into account if you're paying a premium price for some more expensive golf clubs. And this is where Takomo are offering at least a fitted, so getting you closer into those specs, because you might just go, okay, well, a friend of mine thinks I should get the 101Ts, for example, I should get some hollow body clubs. But if your club head speed is a little bit faster, then potentially they're just going to go too far and you're going to have big gaps at the bottom end of your bag. And you can see there from the 8-iron that I have in those next 100 copper versions of the 301s that we've got good distance control. But the next questions that you get asked are a little bit more what I would say are from a standard fitting. So first of all, what would be your average score? And then after that, what is your club head speed with your 7-iron? The 7-iron is the club in the middle of your set. How fast are you swinging that? Or you can also select how far you maybe hit your 7-iron. But then we get really into exactly what I expect from a fitting and what are you looking for. Are you looking for more forgiveness? Are you looking for more offset, less offset? Are you looking for a forged feel? Are you looking for a hollow bodied feel? All of these things that you will get asked in a normal fitting, in an in-person fitting, are now for you to answer. And this is where I selected I prefer a forged feel. So a forged feel is something that I am looking for. I'm also looking for workability. So that's something that you have to think there. Do you like to play shots that maybe are a 3/4 shot? Do you like to control some shots in there? But a forged feel, workability, and then obviously also forgiveness. And you might be screaming out there thinking, forgiveness, you're a PGA professional, you play a lot of golf, which yes I do, but we all want that little bit more forgiveness. If we're not swinging it as well, if we're not playing our best, if you're like myself and you're a new father and you're not getting much sleep, we need as much help as we can get. So we want to make sure that I've got that ticked as one of my options. And that's where we've got the workability. That was a more controlled flight with that 6-iron. That's up there, just a bit right of the flag, but pin high. And this is playing 160 yards, which could be a standard 8-iron there. But sometimes, a little bit into the breeze, I like to go up a couple of clubs and do exactly that. And now we're halfway through the fitting, so that is step 7. If we come into step 8, we're looking at what kind of ball flight do you like to see. And I know there's a lot of people behind there saying, just getting it airborne is all I want to do. But some people might want it higher, some people might like a mid-flighted shot, but I prefer to see a nice low ball flight. Then we come on to the next option, which is talking about what is your tempo. So are you somebody who swings it like Ernie Els, nice and smooth? Are you somebody who swings it exceptionally fast, maybe like an old school John Daly or a young Tiger Woods? Because these are going to have an effect on what shaft you might get fitted for. And then from there, it then goes into how tall are you? And this is going to be now dictating the length of shaft. Do you need to change your lie angle? Do you need it slightly longer? Are you like the main man Jonas at Tacomao, who's around about 6'5"? He's going to need some longer clubs, and this is where you need to think you might need an extra inch on there, you might need an 1.5 inches, because this is all going to affect how you strike the ball. Because a lot of people will just go on, they'll pick their specs, they'll pick the shaft extra stiff, but they'll not think about that length. And if you do go longer in the shaft, we then need to think about lie angle. So most people will know how tall you are, but the next measurement is your wrist angle to the floor. So standing up straight, and this is where you might need somebody to help you. Unfortunately, you might need to let the cat out of the bag and tell your partner that you're looking for some new golf clubs. So wrist to floor is the next one. That is step 11, but you can see on there, it does give you a rough estimate depending on how tall you are for how big that will be. What will you be from your wrist to your floor? But you can see there, again, workability with this pitching wedge. But the big question is it the correct pitching wedge? Is it the one I will be fitted for? And guys, if you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button whilst I knock that in. Now step 12 is talking about this right here. What size glove do you have? And this is now talking about this other premium part of this golf club, which a lot of people overlook, and even in fittings, it's maybe not mentioned as much even in person, but is the grip. What size grip do you have? What kind of grip? Do you want something that's a little bit more tacky? Do you want something that's different colored? Do you even want something that has maybe an alignment aid on there? Something like a reminder in the back of that to help you get into the right grip, get into the right position to be able to hit more greens and hit it closer. After that, we've got number 13, we've got, are you right-handed or left-handed? I'm sure Tacoma wouldn't want to send you out the wrong set of golf clubs. And then we've got your email address again, so they know they can send out what options you would be fitted for. And interesting enough for me, you will see that I was fitted for the CB301. So at the moment I have the combo set of CBs in the higher clubs down to the 7-iron, and then it switches over into the MBs. But you can also see you can customize your set. So what would your irons potentially compare to? What's another option that you would get suggested from the fitting tool? And you can see on screen that it fitted me. Potentially the second option would be for MBs, and this is where with Tacomao it is fantastic that they do offer that combo set, because yes, you could go all CBs, but in those lower irons I certainly do like the sleeker look of these 301 MBs, but there is something that's not quite right. And you'll see on there it does say standard light, it does say a standard size grip, but it does say that it would be a different shaft, so an extra stiff C-taper shaft, which is something that would help me get that lower ball flight. Very interesting online fitting there. It has got me pretty close to the specs that I have, but should I get Takomo to see if they will send me out a set with those extra stiff shafts and continue playing the course management videos here, will it improve my scoring? Could it help me on the next 100 in the scramble with James Robinson? Maybe contribute a little bit more, maybe have a few more own ball eagles as we all like. But I have been fitted for multiple clubs all around the world, from PXG, from TaylorMade, from Titleist, and for me right there it has produced a good specification. And this is where the myth of online fittings don't work, they don't ask in-depth questions. Takomo have certainly ticked that box. An in-depth fitting there online to help you potentially get some fitted clubs at an affordable price.